Giving used to be simple. You put a little cash in the plate as it was passed, or perhaps dropped a check in the box at the back as you left. But somewhere along the line, things changed. Technology replaced the traditional, and from there it got messy, really expensive, and sadly, quite a bit sneaky. You see, people came to our churches selling us the wonders of online giving, but with pricing models created for business. And they convinced us it was the only way. So instead of honest, biblically shaped solutions that respect the sacred nature of giving, we got stuck with providers that take a bit of money from each tithe and offering. Surprised? You're not alone. They hide it pretty well. But just because it's hidden, doesn't mean it's not happening. As each dollar is donated digitally, your giving provider reaches in and keeps a little bit for themselves. From every tithe. Every offering. No exceptions. No cap. Often while promoting their solution as free or $0 per month. Now, imagine if one of those providers stood there as the plate was passed in your church, and at the end of every pew, they pocketed a handful of bills. You'd be shocked and scandalized. Yet this same exact scenario has been playing out for well over a decade now. This happens every single time someone gives online to their church. It's just been hidden from view. But what can we do? Digital giving already makes up about 60% of all our church's donations. And it's still growing. We can't just shut it down. But we also can't go on like this. We can't keep paying a cut of every tithe to these giving platforms for the rest of our lives. It's robbing our churches of over $45 million every year. The good news is, there is a giving platform that fixes all these problems. What should have never been lost, has finally been recovered. And it promises, to be your honest partner in ministry. To never take a cut of any donation. To provide an elegant, modern experience. Welcome to your new giving platform. It's like nothing else out there, and we think you'll like it. Get in touch with me as soon as possible, and I will get you started.
And it's actually a bit curious that spiritual practice has been neglected in our online ministries, because not only is spiritual practice core to the life of every Christian, but there are many spiritual practices that can be observed individually and together when physical proximity is not possible, meaning they are the perfect fit for what we do online. And there's biblical precedent for this as well. Think of Paul and his epistles. Paul's writing to churches physically distant from himself, and what spiritual practice does he repeatedly mention in his epistles? Prayer. To the Corinthians, I give thanks to my God always for you. To the Ephesians, I do not cease to give thanks for you, remembering you in my prayers. To the Philippians, I thank God in all my remembrance of you, always in every prayer of mine. To the Colossians, we always thank God, the Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, when we pray for you. I could go on. This is how Paul often started his epistles. Every next step in your church will be accessible there. And like every next step in your church, prayer lives right inside your launcher. The difference with this prayer next step is that when it's clicked, it activates an entire prayer app all to itself, and we call this the Prayer Hub. And the Prayer Hub is made up of three key pieces. The Prayer Flow, which is a really easy way for anyone to share a prayer request. The Prayer Wall, where your congregation accesses and views your church's prayer requests. And then Prayer Time, which is a special view we created that helps you spend time in prayer in a distraction-free kind of environment. Each of these areas are available in the Prayer Hub, and they're identified using friendly, recognizable prompts, as you can see, so everyone can easily get around and join your church in prayer without a bunch of explanation. So when you click and open the launcher on any page of your church's website, you'll see one of our actions I've got titled as Pray With Us. It's also really easy to fire open the launcher, not just from your website, but directly to the Prayer Hub from a link or from a button, from social media, from email, from anywhere else that you need to direct people to this important next step. Now, when you click on the Pray With Us action, you'll find this screen that explains our church's philosophy behind prayer and why it matters to us. This is fully customizable, of course, and when you click the Get Started button, you're presented with a few choices: to start a prayer request for yourself, or to view the prayer wall or get notifications of new prayer requests that are shared, both of which require you to be signed in. So I'll first start a request myself here. I'll share some of my prayer needs and click Continue, enter my name, email, and then I'll be presented with a follow-up prompt. Would I like follow-up from the church, yes or no? And then I submit my prayer request to my church. Now, what happens if instead of starting a prayer request, I click on visiting the church prayer wall? Well, let's take a look at that now. I'll click Get Started again, head over to view the prayer wall. Oh, and here you'll notice I'm prompted to sign in. And this is one of the key all-important security and privacy measures that we take to ensure search giants cannot index or aggregate our sensitive prayer data. Again, you can always submit a prayer request without an account if you choose, no problem. But if you want to see the prayers of others in the church on the prayer wall, you'll need to first create an account and second, be granted access with your church. Both of these things, creating an account and requesting access, if you don't have it already, are really easy. This works really elegantly whether I'm on a computer or my iPad, especially looks great on phones. Everything's been optimized to be helpful and easy to control no matter what size screen.
Hi, I'm Laura. I'm one of the many lifelike 3D avatars included inside. I'm going to give you a tour and show you some of the powerful features. Pal is your very own fully interactive artificial intelligence-powered chat agent system. It will communicate with your visitors and walk them through an entire interactive sales process from start to finish. Pal incorporates all of the latest and greatest innovations in chatbot, AI, and animation technology, and integrates it with our powerful lifelike text-to-speech that features over 100 voices and accents, and an onboard translation engine which now supports over 25 languages. So you can instantly translate from any language to any other language with just a click, resulting in a full-featured powerhouse that's super easy to use. Now you can net more leads and sales from your existing traffic without increasing your workload or ad spends. Consider it your latest secret weapon to win the battle against high bounce rates, increasing shopping cart abandonments, and declining leads and sales. Look, it's been proven time and time again. The longer you keep visitors on your site, the higher the chances of converting them into qualified leads at the very least. And we all know that the old school ways of keeping visitors engaged just don't deliver results the way they used to. Pop-ups, overlays, and other strategies just don't do the job. On the flip side of that, it's been proven that chatbots not only work, but if used properly, they help improve user experience, boost engagement, and increase customer satisfaction, as well as sales. So imagine having your own fully branded and personalized AI-powered chatbot avatar, like me, interacting with your visitors. Then imagine what that can do for your business. Pal agent on the job, you'll get more leads, subscribers, and sales easier than ever before. How? By utilizing our unique AI-powered chat flow technology, which takes your visitors from point A to point C of your entire sales or subscription process in a fun and intuitive way. How it works is based on a simple but powerful premise. If you can get more engagement from your visitors and guide them into taking actions toward your desired ultimate goal, you'll get better results. In fact, we guarantee you'll get better results.
The next wave for church website design is transitioning your site away from a platform dedicated to presentation to instead invitation. Because the problem that I see with so many church websites is what I call slideshow syndrome. The site itself is an extended presentation about the church. This is who we are, this is what we're about, this is what we do. And no doubt about it, that info is helpful and should be on your site. But a static, passive presentation style website that strictly allows folks to observe what life at your church might be like, well, that's incongruent with what I know about the nature of your church, which is a living, breathing organism made up of real people walking with Jesus and one another. And your website should reflect that. Something every church can do, but you won't find it on too many church websites. Let me show you. So these are banners. They overlay on top of your church's website, and they exist to share time-sensitive information and invite people to take time-sensitive next steps. And because of their placement and the prime real estate that they occupy, banners should be reserved for the highest priority info and the most crucial next steps in your church. There are two distinct types of banners. First, we have inline announcement style banners. And when published, an announcement banner will look like a ribbon-shaped bar neatly placed on top of everything else on your website. And when you scroll down, you'll scroll away from the banner. The second type is a floating notification style banner. And as you can likely guess from the name, a floating notification banner floats on top of your website's content, and when you scroll, the banner scrolls with you. You can create unlimited banners of both types with the launcher. You can have more than one of each type live at any time. They're made to stack elegantly. Banners can be set to draft mode, published immediately, scheduled, and you can even schedule banners on a recurring basis. So, if you have a time-sensitive next step that repeats, You can schedule a banner to go live at a certain time and day, expire at a certain time and day, and then repeat as needed, all on autopilot. Let me outline the rules for how banners display. This is important. And the first thing you need to know is that by default, a floating banner will wait for about 4 seconds before appearing on your website, whereas an inline banner, that's going to appear immediately. If you click the X button on the banner to dismiss it, we'll wait about 5 days before we show you that banner again. If you click the call to action button on a banner, if it has one, we'll wait about 3 days before we show you that banner again. And again, these rules, they're very important because we're trying to protect people on your website from being bombarded and overloaded with pop-up style messages. Banners, they never become intrusive. They're never going to block what you're trying to see on a website. They stay dismissed for extended periods of time when you ask them to, and yet they are still tremendously effective at gaining attention and from there, driving next steps.